At dawn on Tuesday, as the first blush of sunrise illuminated Notre Dame de Paris, residents gathered on the left bank of the River Seine to see the damage wrought by a devastating fire that had engulfed the historic cathedral overnight. "For me, it's much more than stones, it's a part of myself that is burning," said Sarah Virat, 32, who works for a Christian association in the capital. Notre Dame sits at the French capital's geographical and psychological heart, on a small island called the Isle de la Cite, embraced on both sides by the Seine. It's not just the center of the city, but of the country. From it, all other distances to the capital are measured. And so, for Parisians, the cathedral is not just a religious structure, but a shared legacy. "I came because I wanted to see something that was hard to imagine," Sarah Parent du Châtelet, 33, told CNN. "I was born in Paris and I know this lady just like an immortal person. It's impossible to imagine Paris without her. If the Eiffel Tower came to signify the city's sparkling future, Notre Dame has, for generations, embodied its past. She is the heart of Paris, eternal and spiritual," Parent du Châtelet added. News of the devastating fire at Notre Dame will have struck a familiar note to many in York, in northern England. York Minster, the city's Gothic cathedral, was hit by a similar disaster in 1984 when a fire partially destroyed the building. Both churches can be traced back to a similar time period. Notre Dame was completed in the mid-13th century, while York Minster's west window and other parts of the site date back to the 14th century. On Tuesday, York Minster tweeted that the cathedral community had been shocked and saddened to see the damage at Notre Dame. The Archbishop of York, John Sentamu, the second most senior bishop in the Church of England, said he had held prayers for Notre Dame on Tuesday morning. York Minster was painstakingly restored over 4 years at a cost of just £2.25 million, about £7 million, or $9 million, in today's money. In terms of structural damage, Notre Dame may be in better condition, since its vault was primarily made of stone, not wood. Those looking for hope amid the devastation of Notre Dame will be heartened by French President Emmanuel Macron's assurance that the French will rebuild together, and immediate fundraising efforts leading to pledges of €50 million, $56 million, and €200 million, $226 million, from Paris City Hall and the luxury goods and fashion house LVMH, respectively. Assuming the requisite funding is found, how will the process be carried out? Before distinguishing between the salvageable and the unrecoverable, immediate steps will need to be taken to prevent further damage, architectural historian and broadcaster Jonathan Foyle explains. "It's already a wet building because of the water that's been pumped on it, so they're going to need to provide some kind of cover from the elements," he told CNN. "The roof's job was to discharge thousands of tons of water, so where's that going to go? Every time it rains it's going to cause damage at this point, so it's a war of attrition now." French authorities will ultimately need to take a series of design decisions over how best to rebuild. To do so, they will need to better understand how the medieval cathedral was constructed in the first place. But the goal of restoration is not always to replicate the past, and modern tastes and technologies may influence how damaged structures are reimagined.